The very device you're using to watch this explainer right now, it's powered by an invisible empire, built completely for free in a college dorm room. Okay, let's dive into this. 100%. That is the exact percentage of the world's top 500 supercomputers running this software today. Not Microsoft, not Apple. A system called Linux has literally decimated its competitors at the absolute highest levels of global computing.
It's the ultimate digital mystery. So how exactly did an underdog, disorganized volunteer project rise up, beat billion-dollar tech giants at their own game, and quietly conquer the digital world?
Section 1. The software running the world. Just to validate the hype here, look at this absolute dominance. 80% of the massive public cloud workloads out there, we're talking Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, they are all running on Linux. It is literally the invisible bedrock of the internet as we know it. And the sheer scale of its takeover is just staggering. If you look at the top 1 million web servers on the entire planet, a massive 96.3% of them are running Linux. It is the absolute, undisputed king of servers. No question.
But it's not just servers, right? Linux is quite literally propelling us into the future. It operates the flight controls of the SpaceX Falcon 9 rockets. It actually powered the Mars Ingenuity helicopter. And back down here on Earth, if you've got an Android in your pocket or a Chromebook on your desk, that's all built on Linux too. So where did this omnipresent software actually come from?
Section 2. A rebel's origin story. Let's do a quick flashback. 1969, Unix is created at Bell Labs, but it quickly becomes this incredibly expensive locked-down system. Jump to 1983, Richard Stallman's GNU project starts building a free alternative. By 1991, they had all the tools ready, but they were missing the final puzzle piece, the actual brain of the system, a working kernel. Enter 1991.
Over at the University of Helsinki, you have a frustrated 21-year-old student named Linus Torvalds. Sick of the licensing limits on existing systems, he decided to just build his own kernel from scratch. He released his raw, unfinished code onto the internet for anyone to use. No budget, no massive business plan, just some code.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the ultimate contradiction it creates. Before Linux, complex software was designed incredibly carefully behind closed corporate doors. So how on earth did a chaotic, decentralized army of internet volunteers out-engineer the biggest, most well-funded companies on the planet?
Section 3. The open source mutation.
Well, as Torvalds himself put it, Linux grew with a lot of mutations, acting much like alpha particles in DNA. It wasn't rigidly designed in some stuffy boardroom. It was casually hacked on by thousands of volunteers across the globe. By releasing updates every single week and getting immediate feedback from hundreds of users, the code underwent this rapid Darwinian selection process. Only the absolute strongest, most efficient code survived the gauntlet.
But the absolute genius move, the legal masterstroke that guaranteed its survival, was switching the project to the GNU General Public License, utilizing a brilliant principle called copyleft. Basically, this meant anyone could use and modify Linux completely for free, but with a massive catch. If you modified it, you legally had to share your improvements back to the community for free forever. It literally forced collaboration on a global scale.
Section 4. Inside the Linux engine. Now, let's look under the hood, because this brilliantly illustrates the perfect separation of powers. You have the Linux kernel, which is the monolithic brain handling process control, networking, peripherals, and file systems. But a brain needs tools to actually interact with the world, right? That's the GNU userland, giving you the C library, compilers, basic Unix tools, and the bash shell. Together, they create an absolutely unstoppable system.
And when you power on a Linux device, it's like a high-tech heist sequence triggering in milliseconds. First up, the bootloader springs into action, grabbing the Linux kernel and slamming it directly into main memory. Boom! Next, the kernel launches the init program. That's the very first root process from which every single other application spawns. Finally, the user interface, whether it's command shells or a sleek graphical desktop, comes to life. It is relentlessly, beautifully efficient.
But here is the ultimate twist. We know it started as this kind of volunteer utopia, but the internet grew up. So if the software is completely free, who is actually writing the code for this invisible empire today? The answer is probably going to shock you.
Section 5. Total global dominance.
So, the crucial point here is this exact number, 85%.
An analysis revealed that over 85% of Linux kernel code is now written by professional programmers who are getting paid a corporate salary for their work. The romantic era of weekend hobbyists just coding away in their basements, yeah, that is completely dead.
Just look at the names of the massive entities cutting those checks. Intel, Samsung, Google, AMD, Oracle, Facebook. These are literally some of the most ruthless, highly competitive tech rivals on the entire planet. Yet, because Linux is the absolute foundation of their business infrastructure, they are forced to collaborate. They actually pay their top engineers to work together on this single, free piece of software because no single company can afford to let it fail.
It's crazy to see visually. Unpaid hobbyists now make up just 8.2% of contributions. The underdog Rebel Alliance has effectively mutated into the ultimate corporate syndicate, maintaining the greatest software monopoly in human history entirely out in the open.
It's a wild evolution. From a $0 passion project hacked together in a 1991 dorm room, the Linux operating system market is now projected to hit an eye-watering $15.64 billion by 2027.
It just goes to show the most powerful forces in tech aren't necessarily the ones with the biggest initial budgets. They're the ones that evolve to become entirely indispensable. If a free hobby project can literally conquer the Earth, Mars, and the cloud, what invisible empire is being coded in a dorm room right this very second? Hit subscribe, and let's keep exploring the systems that secretly run our world.